What's going on, everyone? Badger here. So there I was, zombied out on the couch, watching some degenerate anime that one of my viewers had me watch. Shout out Tomak. And there I see it. Unexpected that, and we'll talk about it, I guess, because I am entirely redoing my video that was just going to be about the Paramount letter. Netflix wins the Warner Brothers Discovery bidding war, enters exclusive talks. So my original story was about this, which apparently will be coming into fruition. If Paramount loses the bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, Ellison has a backup plan, and it was this: that Paramount questions Warner Brothers Discovery on fairness and adequacy of the sale process. They had an open letter to the Warner Brothers Discovery board members and ostensibly to shareholders, suggesting that they were unfairly, which turned out maybe to be true, unfairly focusing on Netflix and not giving Paramount its fair shake. So the basic of this is that, yeah, Paramount Skydance questioning the fairness of Warner Brothers Discovery sale process and whether it's acting in the best interest of its shareholders, doing its fiduciary responsibility. Again, widely reported, but it seems like that's all come to fruition because Netflix wins exclusive deal talks. So they haven't bought it yet, but they have won the right to do one final negotiation deal. So let's just go through the article. This is from the Wrap. Warner Brothers Discovery is moving forward with an exclusive deal talks with Netflix, the Wrap has learned. WBD has selected Netflix after the streaming giant offered $30 a share for the that's $70 billion. $30 a share for the studio and streaming assets, according to two people familiar with the deal talks. So it's a do, but it's the Wrap. So, okay. The deal also includes a $5 billion breakup fee to match the terms that Paramount added with its bid. While it's unclear what the makeup of the new bid looks like, the prior bid was a mix of mostly cash and stock. Netflix securing a win over rival suitors Paramount and Comcast represents a stunning turnaround from just 2 months ago when co-CEO Greg Peters shared big media mergers as not having an amazing track record. And Paramount buying WBD seemed like a foregone conclusion, especially with the intention of all their actions and going out and getting creatives and the reported Saudi money that they had. Fast forward to today, and Netflix has won a furious M&A bake-off, mergers and acquisitions. After 3 rounds of bids, representatives for Netflix and WBD weren't immediately available for comment, while exclusive talks clears the road for Netflix to acquire Warner Brothers Studios, HBO Max, and a treasure trove of IP assets like Harry Potter and the DC Universe. Netflix, which once aspired to be HBO Max when first embarking on original content, is on a course to becoming its next owner. Obtaining such assets could dramatically reshape the entertainment landscape and Netflix give them even more power over Hollywood. Concerns the streamer will have to assuage, and we did see several warnings right here. One of the big selling points and the reason that Paramount was favored to win is, one, they were buying everything, not just streaming in the movie studios. They're buying CNN and all the Discovery Global assets that were losing money in ad revenue, and also regulatory approval. That the Trump White House was far more apt to have less antitrust concerns with Paramount than they were with Netflix, who, as they mentioned, is already one of the largest streamers. And if you pair it with the third or second most largest streamer, HBO Max, then yes, that gives them an insane level of control. So, exclusive from Variety, a group of major industry players has sent an open, urgent letter to Congress warning of an economic and institutional meltdown in Hollywood if Netflix succeeds in acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. With they have the exclusive rights now for final negotiations. That's what this is right here. Again, raising antitrust concerns. The GOP representative saying here, this is continuing with the Wrap article, it got ugly at the end. The third round of bids came a day after Paramount had issued a letter to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, claiming the bid process had been tainted by management conflict. WBD appears to have abandoned the semblance and reality of a fair transaction process, thereby abdicating its duties to shareholders and embarking on a myopic process with a predetermined outcome that favors a single bidder. In this case, Netflix. And you can see down here from that Park Place article that I had covered originally, it says, inside the WBD boardroom, speculation has intensified that Netflix has quietly become the preferred bidder. According, and this is from a New York Post article, the news outlet notes that Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos and CEO of WBD, David Zaslav, are considered personally close. And some members of the board reportedly believe Netflix would be a better steward of the studio's assets. So there we go. Remember, this does not mean that Netflix has won and purchased it. It means that they have won the final negotiation window, as pointed out here. The streaming giant hit the magic $30 a share target and has an exclusive window to negotiate a final deal. That being said, this is probably just crossing T's, dotting I's, things like that. But they have to get through government regulation. It has to probably get shareholder approval. And Paramount now will be enacting its second form, where so now everything that's said right here, if they lose, this is what they have a backup plan for. And it turns out they're going straight to the shareholders. So should the WBD board pick Netflix, which it appears they have, Skydance's David and Larry Ellison aren't prepared to quietly exit. Instead, they're preparing what sources describe as a plan similar to a hostile bid. The Ellisons would bypass the board entirely and appeal directly to shareholders. Their pitch, according to the Post, they intend to argue that Netflix's bid is destined to collapse under regulatory scrutiny, which it definitely seems it would. The article states that Netflix plan is facing rejection by President Trump's antitrust cops at the Department of Justice, and if litigated, would likely lose in federal court. No one wants this to go for 3 or 4 years. Maybe they think they can outwait this administration, but what shareholder wants to sit there and wait while the merger is in limbo? And who's driving in the meantime? I guess we heard during this period, Zaslav, if they signed with any of them, would be staying on until 2030. So maybe that is their plan. Business as usual until they can get to an administration that would say yes. And that way they get their 30 billion eventually, or 70 billion rather eventually. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. As it stands, Netflix has not won, but they're oh so close to it. And they have certainly won the bidding war. And that is the right to have a final negotiation deal to purchase the streaming and movie parts, and I guess the video game studios too, or maybe that's now not included anymore. More detail to follow, but that's the sum of it. Let me know what you think about this. If you're a Restore the Snyderverse, I don't know. Reportedly, they love Zack Snyder. That's why they stopped working with him for Rebel Moon and all the other things. So I don't know. We'll find out. Let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like, sub, all the things. I'm spun. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, you know what it is.
Well, bye.